Hello and welcome to We the Nation. Crime and the disregard of the rule of law is a threat to our democracy. The crime statistics for April to June this year show that overall 13 crime categories are worse year on year. Murder, attempted murder, carjacking, robbery at residential premises and commercial crime are at the worst level seen in this quarter over the last 5 years. The equivalent of 68 people were murdered a day. Women and children are the worst affected. Reports of children and women being murdered have shot up by 37.2% and 70.5% respectively. Police Minister Begicele reported during this period 9,516 rape cases were opened with the South African Police Service. That's almost 500 less compared with the same period last year. Now, on a positive note, the latest data also shows increased police activity, which has resulted in more crimes being detected because of police action. But we are asking, do we need a new policing architecture or model that focuses more on the prevention and community involvement? Should our laws be reviewed and tightened to keep us safe? Will harsher sentences help to stem the crime crisis? Now, there are some voices who believe that bringing back the death penalty will help. There are also some who are now calling for chemical castration to deal with rapists. And what about moral degradation of society and its contribution to lawlessness and crime? Some people point to a lack of border control, illegal migration, access to illegal guns and ammunition, and other problems as major contributors to the ongoing crime crisis. The latest data released by Stats SA just this week shows that feelings of safety have been declining since 2019-2020. The percentage of adults aged 16 years and older who feel safe walking alone in their neighborhoods during the day has decreased from 84.8% in 2020-2021 to 81.3% in 2021-2022. It seems that the democratic utopia that we signed up for in 1994 needs to be relooked based on our current reality. So how did we get here? And what needs to be done to change this trajectory? To begin our discussion this morning, I want to start with you, Nicolene, from the Krugersdorp community. Just a few weeks ago, your views expressed to Police Minister Begicele in public at Krugersdorp after that horrific gang rape of 8 young women and to some police officers grabbed the imagination of the country. Many of us will say we felt your pain and suffering as a woman at the time. For you, what has gone wrong with crime in South Africa?
Positive and creation energies to you. I think we need to put it out there that there's a lot of departments that had failed us in South Africa. The very first department that had really failed the entire country is the Department of the South African National Defence Force. We had entrusted them to safeguard the integrity of the borders through the Constitution, and they had not done that. Hence, we have such a high rate of immigrants, foreign influx coming into the country. And these people are coming in not for the betterment of the country. They come in to distort the well-being of the country. They're coming in to held us under siege.
But so, are they all responsible for the crime in the country?
Not all of them are responsible for the crime, because we also need to look at our own communities, which also play a huge role, because we raise these criminals. We are the ones that harbors them when we take part into hiding them. When the even when the borders are failing, they come into the country. They're not going anywhere else. They come into the communities, and we give them places to
Because
stay.
sometimes one gets a sense when there's crime that we blame undocumented foreign nationals only, but we know that South Africans as well commit crime.
Hence, I'm saying that I think every department, including the communities, including individuals, that we now, I think as a country, we need to sit and say, not only say where had we went wrong, we need to take ownership, we need to take, we need to be responsible that we had failed our own selves, but putting these departments into questioning.
The police?
The police, yes. Everything else it boils down to the
Okay.
police.
We've got the
and with
deputy.
Department of
We've got the deputy
Justice as
police
well.
national commissioner for policing with us here, General Musigidi. Good afternoon. I mean, welcome to We the Nation. How do you respond to that you have been failing the country?
Good afternoon, Tate Moyani. Good afternoon to your audience and to the viewers at home. We have been hearing the community concerns about the failure of the department in ensuring the policing and the safety. Yes, and Tate Moyani, it is our responsibility as the police in the country to ensure the safety and security of our communities. But I think what was highlighted as well is a lot of dependencies that we are having on other departments.
Are you passing the buck? Are you passing the buck to somebody else?
I will not do that, and I'm not going to start to do that. Part of my portfolio is to ensure that we sit as a national joint intelligence structure, and we do sit with all the departments. We all put our resources together and see how best are we going to
But what has gone wrong? I mean, you say you are hearing, you are listening, and you've got other dependencies. But from a policing perspective, what has gone wrong?
Policing in Tate Moyani does not only stops with the department itself to do the policing. That is why I am talking about this multidisciplinary collaboration to say, if as the police I have to respond, but there are other departments as well that needs to do their part. But if we get to the issue of safety and security, that lies with the police to ensure that communities are safe. We also encourage our communities to, one, report the incidents of crime that happen in their areas and where they
Are they not reporting?
They are reporting.
Okay. I want to, yeah, please get back. Say your name and
Andre Shannon from West Village community.
That's in Krugersdorp.
That's in Krugersdorp where the rapes took place. Ma'am, Commissioner, I want to say to the police, the problem with the police is that the South African population don't trust you because you take bribes. I can tell you in West Village, when we started off complaining more than 2 years ago about the Zamazamas, I could tell you every morning 6:30 when I left home, I can tell you if there's going to be a raid today or not. If there's no Zamazamas on the road, there's going to be a raid.
Corrupt
there's
police
Zamazamas
officers,
is
corrupt
working-
police officers
That's
taking
it.
a bribe? Taking a bribe.
100%.
You've got the gentleman behind you. Please say your name and where you're from.
This is Kumalo, and I want to say this. I'm getting sick and tired of blaming South Africans all the time. All the time when we cry that foreigners have, have taken over this country, we are told that South Africans also do crime.
But where's the evidence that they've
I'm
taken
saying
over
this.
the foreign
Yeah,
nationals?
I'm saying this. We've been displaced. In building hijackings, we don't see South Africans. In human trafficking, we don't see South Africans. In drugs, we don't know drugs before 1994. Each time we complain that foreigners are coming here doing all sorts of crimes, illegal products, fake products, we are told that South Africans also do crime. We should not put.
You don't agree with him
They
about
say
the
we
drugs?
should
Can I
not-
have this lady? Sorry,
we
can
should
I have
not
the
put
microphone?
nationality into
Yeah.
a crime. There is nationality in crime.
Yeah. Your name is?
My name is Ike. I'm saying there's nationality in crime. Building hijacking is done by Nigerians.
But we're having the view that that's not the case.
When we look at the evidence that's out there, my name is Sponsor. I'm representing Soul City Institute for Social Justice. There's a lot of evidence that's out there that shows studies that have been done on a national level that what you're saying is not true. From whether we're talking about hospitals with what happened with the MEC of Health in Limpopo, that shows that this infiltration that we're talking about is not true. The numbers do not reflect the sentiment,
Okay,
the
well, that's
xenophobic
the view.
sentiment.
So it's a different one. Operation Dudula, Den Khatebe, I happen to know your name because we've introduced this other a short while ago. You guys have been very active in saying undocumented foreign nationals must go. How do you respond to what you are hearing now?
Yeah, definitely we are experiencing this imported crime that we never experienced in the country before 1994.
Are you saying there were no drugs
The
before
country-
1994 for real?
Not at this magnitude. And the country is being vandalized by these people, and that is a fact.
Have you got evidence of that?
We have seen people selling scrap metal, stealing railway lines. A truck recently was caught at the border, loaded with railway
Can you
lines.
give the gentleman behind you? He's disagreeing with you.
Okay, Vusi Sibanda from the African diaspora. I think the problem that we're having is we have a big problem that relates to crime. Instead of dealing with crime, we are dealing with personalities. Now, there is crime in South Africa which has got nothing to do with, migrants being in the country.
Okay.
Now, we're saying, Dan is actually saying that we've imported crime. And if you say, okay, what's the barometer? What is it?
Yeah.
The minister came a few weeks ago, he said 144,120 something, prisoners were arrested. And he said that was 18,000 were migrants. That is 12%. And now we are going.
I need to get two voices as well from the panel just now. Yusuf Abramji is a colleague as well here at ENCA, but he's been involved quite a lot with the issue of crime.
Dan, I'm speaking as an anti-crime activist and also the anchor of Crime Watch. Let me first of all say generally, Dan, we are sick and tired of the high levels of crime. This is a national emergency, with an average of 71 people being murdered each and every day, with hundreds of women being raped every day. The list continues. We have a major disaster on our hand. Drastic times need drastic action. A number of issues have been raised here about xenophobia, about foreigners being involved, about the role of the police. Having said that, let me first of all congratulate General T.C. Mosikeli on her appointment as the Deputy National Commissioner for Policing. I know she has a credible record, and I'm confident she will do a good job. Let me take the issue of the Zamas on the West Rand. We at Crime Watch repeatedly over a period of 3 years showed how these illegal miners were running amok. Why the hell, sorry my language, do the police have to wait for scores of women to be raped before they run there? Why does the fireman, Becky Cele, the minister, has to go and engage the community after the fact? We've highlighted the problem of Zamas on the East Rand. We've shown drone footage. Nothing has been done. Corruption in the police, let me say very quickly, the majority of police officials are honest, hardworking, and efficient. Those few corrupt ones need to take the blame. As far as crime is concerned, Dan, South Africans also commit a large chunk of crime, as do foreigners. And I think, let's be very brutal. The police are soft on people who are xenophobic. Kalafong Hospital is being blocked. It's being blocked. Patients can't go there in the name of fighting and having a peaceful protest. Police need to come down hard on lawlessness. They need to come down hard on people who are breaking the law.
Why are you not arresting the people? Why are you not arresting the people? Why are the police not arresting? Why are the police soft, according to Yusuf, on the people who are breaking the law, including those who are blocking Kalafong Hospital as an example?
Kalafong Hospital, the Provincial Commissioner of Gauteng did responded on the time that they received the report and them responding to the report that they have received and the numbers of what needs to be done. And I know a few days ago, it was reported that the police said, do you have
But there's been no arrests.
Ntate Moyane and the audience and the communities, we know that we investigate to arrest. We don't arrest to investigate. So there needs to be a proper investigation that is done on what happened before you arrest. But if...
Arrest.
Yes.
I mean, when people are stopping people, and
In
they're
your
not police
presence.
officers, in your presence, and you watch as a police officer and say
No.
you want a warrant.
No,
I mean,
you
or
don't do that.
a court order. Okay. Is that policing?
Okay, I don't want to have a dialogue just now. I just want to bring in the other two panelists now. I'm going to bring you Advocate Tipanyana. You've been listening to this opening of this discussion. You have an illustrious human rights record behind you. Till recently, you were the CEO of the South African Human Rights Commission. Now you're running an institute for responsive and accountable governance, CIRAC. What do you make of this? Why are we not winning the war against crime? How did we get it so wrong?
Well, definitely, we have a right as citizens of this country to be free from crime. And it is responsibility of government to ensure that there is no crime in our country and criminals are detected. So clearly, the biggest problem is the failure of governance and leadership in our country. Yes. Now, of course, then when people feel the pinch of crime, because they don't know how, they simply react. So, for example, we say foreigners cause crimes. Let's look at the biggest crime in our country, rape. how many rapes are committed by foreigners as compared to South Africans? And what do we say about that?
And most of the rapes happen in our
homes.
in the homes of the loved ones, according to the research.
Secondly, these foreigners don't live in the sky. They don't live air. Where do they live? Who hosts them? It's us.
Okay.
So, but we need to fight the crime in a smarter manner and more effective. And let us not forget also Ubuntu, but more importantly, we depend on each other in this region.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah. So we got it wrong because of leadership. Dr. Labuskaghni, you were in the police service some years ago. You're an expert in this. You've got a forensic background. How did you get it so wrong? Where did it go wrong for policing in South Africa?
Look, I can only speak from my own experience. As you said, I was in the police for 14.5 years. I left in 2016. I was a brigadier. I think for me, the biggest concern that I noticed in that time period is lack of command and control. So people just not doing their jobs properly, and there never being consequence, or very often not being consequence.
So you have a commander who's not laying down the law within the police service.
So a simple example is I was in the investigation field. I would look at it, I would get called into a serial rape case or whatever it was to assist. And I would see that that detective wasn't getting the proper guidance and instructions from their commander, which would be the way that they would learn to improve their case file, that when they do arrest someone and present it for prosecution, you have a better chance of a prosecution. But I'd find that even the basics weren't being done. And it's not that people didn't know. I think the training the police get, whether it's the uniform people or the detectives or the forensics people, is actually very good training. The equipment that the forensic laboratory has is phenomenal. But if people aren't being held accountable when they're not doing their jobs, everything's going to fall apart because criminals start to realize, I'm not going to get caught. Then you can have the death penalty.
Okay. The gentleman wanted to speak very briefly. We have to go to a break now. Just very briefly, make your point.
Okay,
Say who is your name?
Misani Ishmael Senior representing Soweto Parliament. I think the problem it's one. When police law enforcement started being South African Police Service, before it was South African Police Force, whereby they used to enforce the law within the country. So now, another thing, the problem is that most of the people who are working in the police departments, you'd find that they are cashiers instead of being in the stores. And the people who are interested in bringing safety and security within the community, you never find them in
That's a very interesting point. Is it Dumsani is your name?
Yes.
That's an interesting point you are bringing, because one of the questions that I asked at the beginning of the show is, do we need a new policing model? Maybe it's one of the things we can discuss.
It doesn't matter if you bring a new policing model. If there is no willingness from the police, it will be pointless. Babu Tipiane spoke of Ubuntu. Tipanyane spoke of Ubuntu. It seems as if that is what is lacking within us all. Because look at it this way, when there's crime that is being reported, people would rather take videos than to assist
We'll unpack a little bit of this. So we have to take a break now. And when we come back here on We the Nation, we'll unpack it, what can be done, so to speak, or where the challenges with the current policing model. I also heard somebody says human rights is a problem in the country. Is it or not? Stay with us here on We the Nation. You're watching We the Nation as we continue our discussion on crime and the disregard for the rule of law, which is threatening our democracy. In the first part of our discussion, you've been hearing about what has gone wrong, rather, including issues of leadership, willingness, lack of command structures, and some people saying too many undocumented foreign nationals are a huge contributor. And other people say, no, it's not just that. There's also that will that is required. Among many other states, for example, we know that in the latest report for April to June this year, cash in transit robberies, for example, went up by 30.4%. And the men and the women who carry out these crimes are very heavily armed. Then you ask a question about the availability, the proliferation of illegal guns and ammunition. When the tavern in Nomzamo, informal settlement in Orlando, in Soweto, was attacked, I mean, AK-47 was used and 138 rounds of ammunition were used. AK-47 is not legal in South Africa. That's an illegal weapon that came from somewhere. As we continue now in our discussion, I want to bring the MKLVA, and I'm going to bring you Mbulelo Musa. I saw your hand up quite a little bit earlier. You have a view. You've heard the first part of the discussion. What do you think? Where have we gone wrong in terms of crime in this country?
Thanks, Just to put it on record, we are Umkhonto is the Liberation War veterans. I think the very nature and focus of the discussion tells us that we've got it all wrong. We've got it all wrong because we take a very uncoordinated view of how crime can be fought. Everyone blames each other. And to me, there's no holier than thou cows here. The fact of the matter is that we are reactive than proactive. We are reactive than proactive because we don't have a strong intelligence-driven approach. We do not have people-centered approach where the people themselves, by the way, the people themselves can actually defend themselves on crime if well supported, trained, and be able to be guided. We have that history in our own country, where we had what was called the organs of people's power. Where in the street, we knew that when we were a criminal, we'd be caught up within a few minutes, let alone hours. We knew his zone, etc., because the people, the organizations, and now, fortunately, law enforcement agencies
So in the
ought to work together.
in the communities, that's where it could happen, where the plot has been lost is not to involve the community. That's where we are. And we have a view. I've got so many hands. I've got so many hands. Let's come here. Soweto Parliament. Soweto Parliament?
Yeah, Ntantalaks, Soweto Parliament. Look, I think what's important here is for all of us to stop being hypocrites, number one. Both sides of the coin. Being xenophobic is immoral, it's not criminal. Yeah. Being undocumented is criminal, it's not immoral. But you are here protecting the undocumented people, which is criminal. And you're putting a spotlight on those who seem xenophobic, which is hypocritical. So if we're going to solve issues, let's just face the issues for what they are. It would be nice in this room to have the very foreigners, whether legal or illegal, standing up and taking responsibility. I'm yet to see foreigners that are documented helping us fight against the foreigners that are not documented. Because we're dealing with crime here.
Keep him mic. What do you say to that? What do you say to that?
I think the first thing is he's getting it wrong. When we say xenophobia, it is a criminal offense. He must go and read the National Action Plan and the bill.
Is that a law? Is that a law? It's just a plan.
Yes, I mean, now,
I'm here, okay, here, example. Let's say I'm xenophobic, I'm owning up to it. The commissioner's here. Can you arrest me, commissioner? It's immoral, it's not criminal. It's not criminal. It's not criminal. Don't lie to us.
No, it is
the same
criminal
energy you are
when
putting
you
in fighting South African issues.
No, when you speak,
it's the same energy you must put in Zimbabwe.
Tandla, when you speak, when you lead people, when you incite people to kill other people, hate speech is a crime. Hate speech is a crime.
Okay, yes. Come in there. Yeah, hate you want to see hate speech?
The problem with us as human beings.
Human Rights Commission or former, you are being convenient. It's being xenophobic.
The problem here.
Yes.
I can't have two mics. Hold on. I can't have two mics at the same time. Nicolene, wait. Yeah. Hold on. Ike, hold.
Yeah.
Let's finish your point quickly.
Let me finish the point and sit down. Let me finish.
That's a crime.
Being xenophobic is immoral. It's not criminal. You used to hate, but you see, this is why the country is upside down. Look, he doesn't have the mic speaking. So what must happen now? Must you hijack the show?
No.
Is this now a South African parliament? Where
let him finish. Let him finish. You finish in time.
Yeah,
quickly.
thank you.
Finish.
Thank you. Respect the man. This is his show. So you used to head Human Rights Commission. You used to head Human Rights Commission. When a South African, that's a sellout. Wait.
I'm not a sellout.
You used to head Human Rights Commission. You used to head Human Rights Commission.
Hold on. Can
Must I deal with her or you deal with her? Must I deal with her or you deal with her?
No, finish the point.
Right, sure.
Finish the point quickly. Can we allow him to finish the point? Sorry. Can you just allow him to finish the point?
Don't raise your voice. Raise your point of argument. It's not EFF house, this one. Now, here's what I'm saying to you.
This is where the problem is.
You used to...
Let us...
No,
okay, hold on. Just a quick point.
Yeah, because I'm not going to allow anyone to speak if this is the nature of how they raise arguments. It is people.
No, make your point.
I'm not you, definitely. That's why.
So you can't stop us from talking?
Yeah, I can. Do you want me to show you? The show can stop.
Guys, the show... Hold on, Tanta. Hold on.
It's not intimidation when he says in English, who are you?
We talk rule of law.
Who are you? Who are you?
People that stand up to talk and uphold the rule of law. We can't have intimidation.
I need to say my point. No, I am repeating because they're playing into your head. No, I must say a point and sit down. I haven't said my point.
But you are taking
You allow these Zimbabweans and the former whatever it is who used to be under the pocket of Zimbabweans to stop me from talking.
You are talking too long to talk.
But I'm not. I'm respecting the show. They are talking while I'm trying to talk.
Make your point quickly.
Yeah, my point is, he used to head Human Rights Commission. In Soweto, people die every day called South Africans. Human Rights Commission, we've marched to you as the young people of Soweto. Part of what we request is that you bring an office in Soweto so that you can protect the South Africans that are in Soweto. Unless the definition for human rights is that it's human rights that are not from South Africa. Because the South African human rights, you don't respond to us when you don't have electricity. Electricity is a basic human right. But when we lack electricity, 8 years without electricity in Soweto in some communities, where's human rights statement around that point? Stop being a hypocrite. Okay. If you want to take the country forward, let's unite for real and not pretend here.
Thank you very much.
You don't want to
point. That's okay. I'll give you a point.
You have
come
no
back.
clue of what you're talking about.
Yeah, sorry, Advocate Tipanyane, you can speak, but we know. Just note, he's no longer with the Human Rights Commission. He used to be, former. Let's give him a chance to respond. Just respond, sir.
Well, first of all, the Human Rights Commission is not government. We're a small body of 180 people with 150 million rands compared to 90 billion of the police.
Yes.
But numbered. So you need to understand that. So if you say, why are we not in Soweto, go to Parliament, your own Parliament, and give us money. We'll have an office in Soweto. We only have 200 million rands a year as the Human Rights Commission. No, look at our records. How many? Look at our reports. How many foreigners do we help as a commission vis-a-vis our council? Hold on, you are just talking from ignorance. We get over 10,000 complaints. Most of those are from South Africans.
And then we will sue
95% of our complaints come from South Africans.
With lawsuits.
Go and research.
With lawsuits. We'll sue them. No,
Okay.
all these people
Hold on. Opinions here that are being purported to be facts. That's firstly the first thing. And also, just to call out ENCA for having most panels that are xenophobic. That is not right, because this is not what South Africa represents. However, I would like to say that it is understandable why
Hold on, guys.
South Africans...
Sorry, hold on, Ponso. Guys, Nhlanhla, just like you were insisting you need to be listened to, can we listen to her?
However, what I was about to say is that it's understandable, not condonable, why South Africans keep thinking the problem is with foreigners or undocumented migrants, because our own government scapegoats them. Aaron Motsoaledi, when he was the Minister of Health, kept on saying that foreign nationals are the reason that our hospitals are full. MEC of Limpopo said the same thing recently. We've seen it now with Aaron Motsoaledi in Home Affairs. Our government is failing us and scapegoating foreigners because they know the bigotry that we have.
Thanks, Ponso. Just Simba, you introduce yourself. Just give me a second. We invited everybody, and we've included everybody. We didn't just invite people who are xenophobic. Hence, you are also sitting here having a point, okay? But I just want to clarify that we extended the invitation to all types of organizations. Yes, Simba, please say who you are.
Advocate Simba Chitando. I wear various hats, but I represent a lot of Zimbabwean interests in South Africa. What I'd like to say that's different from what the other speakers have said is the cause of crime. We've heard of the scapegoating, but I want to talk about the cause of crime. The cause of crime is poverty, all right? Poverty is not in this panel. It's not here in this room, okay? That is the problem. It's a third world country. No South African I have spoken to or that I know has said that South Africa was a safer country before '94. It can't have been. During the years of apartheid, ANC people, no. It was. The Chris Honey's, all the suffering. No. Can I have a point? Can I finish my point?
Yeah, finish your point quickly. Allow him to finish your point.
It's unfortunate.
Let him finish his point. Hold on, let him finish his point.
But he's finishing lies.
Let him finish his lies. Let him finish what you think are his lies. Let's hear him out.
Hold on, respond to it.
Yes,
that's
Simba?
what your thought is. The reality is this country has gone through hell. The whole region has gone through hell. But during apartheid was the worst and the darkest time of this country. Before '94 was far worse than now, right? That is a reality. Let's talk the truth. No one wants to go back to walking around with a dom pass. No one wants to go back to being humiliated by the police. And the police, I want to speak about the cops, because we all know that before 94, the job of the police service was to repress the black majority. That's not a lie. It was the truth. No, but it's the truth, though. It was to repress the black majority, which is why the ANC fought. It's not hearsay. You elected the ANC because they fought the struggle. And they fought against the police. They fought against all the repression that took place in the country. Now, to land the plane, this is the point I'm trying to make here about the cause of crime. The cause of crime, again, poverty, not foreign nationals. Foreign nationals, no.
They're causing poverty. They come with
No,
poverty.
it's not foreign nationals.
Okay, fine.
The country was not as bad as.
Yeah, I think you've
was
made
then.
your point that poverty is largely to be blamed. Say who you are. I see you've got a community police forum jacket. Who you are?
My name is TJ Masilela. I'm the chairperson of the Gauteng Provincial Community Police Board. Let's talk about policing. But before we do that, let's also talk to the advocate who was the Human Rights Commission CEO. Because, advocate, you are also a Pop Crew Foundation CEO. Now, if you're going to talk about policing and not have Pop Crew sitting and SAPO sitting there, you're going to have a problem. Command and control. When command and control is applied, the same officers that are supposed to do that work, they rush to the union. Now, 1,000 police officers in 2016, 2017 were exited the police force.
By the way, we did invite Pop Crew and SAPO, but they were not.
They wouldn't come here because they know that they're the ones that are protecting the police that are not doing their work. The command and control part of it, okay, it's a problem. And the advocate here should tell the truth. He was in the Pop Crew. He was in the Pop Crew Foundation. He knows how Pop Crew operate. But let me talk about policing.
Very briefly.
Community policing strategy. General, I want to appeal to you. It's sitting somewhere in the documents. We crafted that document. We launched with Minister Mukongi in 2018. Can we apply that? Because if we do that, the same street committees that we're talking about, we will have these people. It's a fact. Undocumented people don't want to be part of the CPF because we must screen them.
We'll talk a little bit about that. Remember, no politicking here. We're focusing on the problem of crime and what is behind it. How have we got things wrong? Why are we having these issues now? Sorry, ma'am, you've had your hand up earlier. You say your name. Why are we having these issues? And we will come to a point where we're going to talk about how to resolve. What do we think will be the best way going forward? Yes, ma'am.
Braden, I'm Tepi Mekwa. I'm representing SAGA.
What is SAGA?
SAGA, we are SA Gun Association.
Gun Owners Association.
Correct. Now, I don't know how the police are expected to police when you've got one police officer to every 400 odd people. 440. One police officer. If you take the stats and the number of police, and the police that are on the ground, actually doing the work, not even those in administration. You're literally sitting with one police officer for that number of people. Why?
So the resourcing is a problem?
The resourcing
is a problem. Dr. Labuskaghni, resourcing, your experience with that.
Look, I do think it's a difficult thing. I often feel that we could probably fire 1/3 of the SAP's members. As long as the 2/3 who remain behind work hard, we'd probably have a better outcome. So I think resourcing, yes, but I don't think the problem is we need to just throw more police. If we're not getting quality people...
But the government just announced they are recruiting more police, ne? They announced the other day, I think, 12,000 more. You don't think that's a solution?
I don't think it's necessarily going to improve anything.
I have to be with Dr. Labuskaghni.
Can we allow him to finish?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, I don't think that just more police is going to make the things better. It's if we don't have, again, command and control and quality people who didn't just apply for 20 different jobs and the police was the first one that phoned them back. I don't blame that person for taking the job because if you're unemployed, any job is a job. So I think we have to look at who we get into the service, and then if we don't fix the command and control, we can have triple the amount of police. We're not going to have a different outcome.
Yeah, General, what are your views on this? Command and control, get the right people in.
There is identifiable challenges that we also, when we do our own internal analysis of what could be the challenge, what could be the problem. Yes, the issue of command and control will always come. It's part of what we are prioritizing as a risk to say, do we have right commanders? And if not, what then are we going to do? National Commissioner, it's close to 6 months in office, and I think he went to the communities, he went to the society and indicated that this is my plan, this is what he's going to do, which is a policing
Do you
plan.
think, are you confident, we don't know the plan, that plan that Fanny Masimula is putting forward will assist?
Okay, every time when you put up the new strategy, you put the strategy, you will review. If it's not working, you will replan. You will come up with the new strategy, but we resuscitating some of the training of the commanders just to capacitate and empower commanders to be firm in the decisions that they are taking where they are sitting. So we think that might be, because I think most of the people here and most of the South Africans and yourself highlighted the issue of corruption. We have reviewed how we do things. We have established small contingency of dedicated group to say, can we look inwardly? What is it that we are having? To what extent are we having this challenge of corruption? And we are changing the uniform of a lot of our colleagues that are committing crime. That change it from blue to green, to orange. And these communities knows the number of police officers that we, from time to time, come and say, you cannot be part of us, not in our name.
How many people have been fired?
I don't have
a lot of people
statistics.
have changed the uniform.
I don't have statistics.
Say who you are. And
Hi, I'm Gabriel Krauser from the Institute of Race Relations. I'd like to know how many people have gone from a blue uniform to orange overalls?
I don't have statistics then now, but that is available.
What happened with
in the
Operation
offer.
Impi, where the cops were shown to be selling guns into gangsters' hands by the thousands, and then that operation was terminated? Why is Operation Impi not ongoing?
Who terminated Operation Impi?
Operation Impi, it was the...
Is it terminated? Is it terminated?
I'm hearing that it's terminated.
It's ongoing. So when was the last instance where a new discovery was made or someone else was fired? Only one cop, as far as I know, has gone to jail. Those guns are accountable for thousands of children and women being murdered in the Cape Flats.
Can you just answer that? Can you answer that, General?
He's not even in jail anymore.
General?
There are a number of people that have been fired by their acts of getting involved in crime.
You don't have the numbers right now?
I don't have the numbers, but we often communicate.
But the operation is underway still?
Look, we want the name Impi. I think that is what he's talking about, that you want the name Operation Impi. But remember, when we were putting those strategies in place, we said, can we relook and see how best we can capacitate this? We established the gang units, the anti-gang units, to try and address that, because we have discovered that these firearms that were taken, they were given to the gangs. That is why we're having
an anti-gang unit.
The same police said and argued against us in Parliament when we said...
So who are you? Sorry, who are you?
My name is Temba Gupega.
Microphone, please. Sorry, yeah.
The name is Temba Gupega. I'm from South African Gun Owners Association. I'm also a director at Caligon Protection, a private security company. When we're sitting with the Policing Portfolio Committee, discussing the issue of the firearms amnesty a couple of years back, the same police who knew what happened to the guns that came from the first amnesty that were then
distributed
into the wrong end of society, right? They were sitting there against us when we were saying this thing is not going to work. They were not even incentivizing people to bring in their firearms, because they were saying, bring in your firearms, register them at the front desk, we will check. If there's no crimes, we'll let you go. That's not incentivizing.
How do you respond, very quickly, before we go to break, how do you respond to the question, you can respond after break, that firearms are 3 times likely to be the weapon of choice in murders? In the last numbers, 2,766 people were shot dead. We'll get an answer from you when we come back shortly here on We the Nation. Stay with us as we continue to unpack what has gone wrong in our country, especially with crime and the ongoing disregard for the rule of law, which some believe is now threatening our democracy. You're watching We the Nation here on ENCA, DSTV channel 403. Now, just before we went to break, we were talking about the fact that according to the latest crime stats, firearms are 3 times likely to be the weapon of choice in murders. We have Gun Owners Association with us here. You had the microphone, carry on. How do you respond to that statement?
I don't think I have to respond. It's not a question. We haven't spoken about knives, and knives are actually used in more crimes than guns. It's stated.
But I just referred to the stats that the firearms are 3 times likely to be the weapon of choice in murders.
Only if you're focusing on guns. But if you're focusing on weapons used in the commission of crime, knives will come out higher. Yes. Am I right, Commissioner?
Firearms.
Firearms.
No.
It's firearms.
On violent crimes, high victims, the high number of weapons that has been used to commit a violent crime is fire.
Then let's talk about where do those firearms come from?
Yeah, but remember this other fact that is a fact, and I've spoken to Gun-Free South Africa. They've spoken about the fact that for every illegal gun that you find is being used, it was legal at some point.
Yes.
Firearms. Yes. The hand, not the big AK-47.
Yes. Okay. Now, what is the crime that you're talking about? Is CITs. How many cash in transit?
No, I was talking about murders here. The weapon of choice in murders.
Or in murders?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to come back to how do those firearms go from legal to illegal?
Yeah, very briefly.
We just spoke about one case here where a senior ranking police official took firearms that were entrusted into custodians of the law and sold them back to criminals. And I think police are here and they're being thrown under the bus because I don't think it's a police problem. It's a policy problem. The policy makers are not here to take.
We did try to get the Ministry of Police to be here, but they were not available.
They will rely on the commissioner to come here and take the brunt.
Okay, you from?
I'm from
Sorry? Yeah, please speak.
Moano from Surrey. First and foremost, I want to direct my first comment to Wenantate Den to say that we needed the central responsible party for the conditions that give rise to crime, and that is our governance.
Our government.
Our government. We needed a figurehead to account for why people are still ring-fenced into areas that are riddled with
And as I said, we did invite the government in terms of the police before the deputy police commissioner at the level of the department, and they were not available.
And then my next point comes to Mem Sikili. The issue is that our police force is very reactive. It has proper policies in place to ensure the combating of crime. However, when an individual then comes with information that ought to have already been in the intelligence section, known to the police and being dealt with, you find that the police are just as surprised as the victim. And then on the third leg, my issue comes with that we are being distracted from the central issues.
Which is?
Which are that whenever you have a crime that is now in the hands of the police, you find that the policing and investigation is bungled so badly that you can no longer prosecute that crime.
So part of what was gone wrong is that police are messing up the cases as well. Sorry, please say your name.
My name is Zuga Letswalo from Soweto Parliament. 2 points that I want to raise. The old man by the corner there says
that's Dr. Labuschagne, yeah?
There are things that are basic that we need to master maybe.
Yes.
When I grew up looking at the TV. When there's dramas, we'll see when the police arrest a person, that police will come and make investigation, check how was the scene, and ask questions, who were there, what happened. But in the reality, this nowadays, when the crime is committed, it's very rare to see police. They expect people to move from where they are
to go to the police station
and give information. And I think it's a contribution why criminals are not arrested.
Because
when they are arrested, they will scot free because there's no evidence.
Yeah.
Number 2, when I grew up, crime was there. And the only thing that is different, the nature of crime. Let me tell you, in CBT Johannesburg, we will always have people that were committing crime, but not killing people. Today, I can tell you, many crimes that are committed in CBT, taking people's cell phone, skating them are the foreigners, and they don't have time to do that when you are alive. They will kill you on the spot, and that is what I'm saying, the nature of
is
this
changed.
crime has
Okay.
changed.
Who's from a community policing forum? Are you the only one? I want another community police forum. I just want to hear from the ground. Say who you are and where you come from.
Hi, my name is Mohammed Rafiq Doda. I'm the Boyson CPF chairperson.
Boyson's in Joburg?
Boyson's in Joburg, yes. South of Johannesburg. In response to the gentleman up there, groundwork is a bit difficult. Currently, we work a lot with SAPs. We have operations every Friday evenings, starting from 6:30 in the evening, all the way till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, what kind of operations?
So operations, we'd go out, the patrollers would be called out to the station. They would come there in their own vehicles, join the commander in charge, and we go out and do a convoy all through our four sectors.
Patrolling your area?
So we'll patrol our areas, correct. As you know, Boysons, we have 4 sectors. We have Sector 1, which is Robert Cham and its surrounding areas. Sector 2, which is closer to Omonde View by Nasrec and FNB. Sector 3 and 4, which is more our Rife areas, which is Turfentine, Haddon, all of those areas. That is where our hotspots are. So what? Correct. So what we actually do there is we patrol randomly throughout the night, and that's on Friday nights and Saturday evening.
And is that model working?
It is working because we work, like I said, we work together with SAPs.
Yeah.
We do stop and searches with them because you need an authoritative figure with you. Secondly, with regards to that, on the ground, what I noticed is that public drinking has escalated. We need to re-look at the public drinking laws. You know, drinking, I think the law now states that you can stand within the boundaries of your home and drink there.
So that's another factor you think contributes to the high levels of crime? Public
because
drinking. Okay.
What actually happens there
Sorry,
is...
Mohammed, I need to rush you because there's another... You've had your hand up a little bit later, but we get your point. Yes, ma'am, say who you are.
Butlale Mudisani from Soweto Parliament and Xenophobia Foundation. So just maybe 3 points that I wanted to raise. Firstly, the point about the influx of illegal foreigners that are in here. I will make a perfect example. As a young girl coming from going to school to and from North and Soweto, I could very well get off the bus in Hillbrow, walk all the way to Pritchard Street or anything else, just all the way across town. And I would be the safest little girl walking alone or walking with a friend. Today, I cannot do that. Nobody else can do that because it is mainly, you know.
Right. The next 2 points quickly. Yeah.
And then, hold on. And then another point is, coming back to the point that the lady raised, where maybe perhaps the police are failing us, is that when we report crimes like your rape, your GBVF and everything, little things like when the statement is taken, the lack of capacitation from the policing side is one thing that makes...
So the skills capacity is a problem.
Yes.
Last point quickly.
Yes. And then also, agreeing with the gentleman, right now, when it comes to some of the operations that we do in schools, making sure that we first make sure that schools are becoming safer environments.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that most of the children that are recruited in schools are recruited by foreign nationals. We have right now Basotos who are making sure that children are being yes, they've been recruited into gangs, and you find knives, drugs, and a whole lot of other things.
Come in there.
And it's not South Africans.
Can I just make a few points to summarize some of the comments that were made? First of all, Dan, it's very unfortunate we're an angry nation. We're an angry nation because these criminals are terrorizing us. We're pointing fingers correctly at the police, we're pointing fingers correctly at the government, but how many of us point fingers at the criminals out there? These people, as we speak, who are robbing, raping, and doing all forms of crime. We can sit here and debate for the whole year, but we need to find solutions.
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that later.
I just want to make a point quickly about policing. We've blamed the police for a lot of wrongdoing, but let's also give credit to the good and the hard-working cops out there. The biggest problem we have is a criminal justice system. I was a victim of a house robbery where my family and I were held up 9 years ago. The two suspects are still on trial in the Pretoria Regional Court. That's the one problem. How do you expect a detective to carry 300, 400, 500 dockets? There's Professor Lebaskagni who has a great track record. People like him will left the police service under difficult circumstances. We need to get the expertise
Yusuf, that's
back.
a very important point. Dr. Lebaskagni, how should police ensure that conviction happens?
Sure, I mean, it starts obviously proper investigation of the case.
I mean, you've written a book about this.
Yeah.
2 books, okay.
You know, if you don't have the proper evidence to convict the person, and firstly find the person, arrest them, and then convict them, I mean, you're going nowhere.
Yeah, but that young lady there said that the police can't even take a statement.
So I mean, those are challenges that it's going to definitely affect whether a prosecutor is going to look at this docket and say, I'm not going to enroll this for prosecution. So again, for me, it comes back to command and control. If you had a proper supervised detective, you would have less chance of that shoddy work actually taking place.
Skills capacity?
Yeah,
yes,
I lost two bicycles. The cops came, they didn't take fingerprints, they said it's Zimbabweans. They don't even use Zimbabweans. They just left. Just like that.
This is not the type of response that...
Yeah, skills capacity?
This is not the type of response that the particular police who responded to Ndade Tipanyani's case was taught to do. We are from the same college. If we are having good police and bad police, we are trained same college.
What are they taught to do? What are they taught to do?
To do the work, to do what is expected of them. All that we need to do is to go out there and make South Africans safe and protected and discharge that duty. So it cannot be...
But currently many people are feeling less safe.
In a group...
Sorry. They catch somebody inside my house, okay? They take him to the police station. They caught him inside, okay? That case has never came before
So the man behind you there, yeah?
My name is Sofatso Mahongwa. I'm with Soweto Parliament. I'm going to talk on terms of patrollers. We do have community patrollers. And on top of those community patrollers, the SAPs, how do they help those community patrollers?
But you're supposed to work with the police, according to Mohammed.
We do work
Mohammed, you said in Boysens you work with the police, but your patrollers in the community
yes,
have to
we
work
do
with the
work with police because most of the time when we call the police, they don't respond. They don't come. So most of the times when we take people to the police station, because now we have to take people to the police station, the police, they don't come to us to come and arrest the people. So now...
Another issue in our communities with the patrollers.
Can I have a mic?
Because
Sorry,
with
can I
the
have a mic?
patrollers, it has become, it seems as if it has become business.
I don't know if your voice can be heard.
They don't really patrol the communities for the safety of the communities. They patrol for themselves.
Yes.
We did not have a police forum in West Village. We had been asking for a police forum. And now with all this, then they came at the Imbizo and publicly told the country that West Village is part of their sector. But when we were called into the meeting, we asked that now that at least we have a bit of a freedom, all we want to do it is to sustain.
And they didn't allow you? They haven't allowed you?
They said we must invite them. How do you get invited to come? And yet, this is what I said, that my sector,
I just wanted to
they made it a point that it is their sector, it is not the organization.
Can I please
It
just
is
crush the
for
lady right now?
themselves.
Yeah.
How can we patrol for ourselves where else we are out there at night? It's impossible. We are always
But
out
if
there
you're
at
going to
night,
say that the
risking
sector
our
is
lives,
yours, it's
protecting
not
the
for
community that is not even
They
supporting
don't come
us.
to the
Sorry,
community.
sorry,
They
no, that
do
which is
not
wrong.
come
The
to
community, the rest of the community is betraying us. We are busy not sleeping at night.
Okay, hold on. Guys, hold on. Listen, I'm the anchor of the show. So you better listen to me so we can have a proper discussion. Finish your point.
My point is, we would like that SAPS could fully intervene inside the patrollers' session. We would like to have vans that will patrol around the areas each and every maybe 2 hours or so that whenever we have problems that the challenges
fine.
that we come across, that they will be able to.
It sounds like a solution. Thank you. So sorry for cutting you because of time. I just want to bring in the gentleman this side. Yeah, please say who you are and where you come from. And one of the points I want to address, because I know who you are, but I'll ask the question. You go.
Bobo Pemba,
Umkhonto wesizwe Liberation War veterans. But then I think part of the problem is that there is no plan for this country.
So you took it at a national leadership level?
At a national level. That's the first problem. But if you were to zoom into crime, you've invited South Africans, and just from the divergent views that are being expressed here is an indication that South Africa has no plan to deal with crime. Now, sometimes we forget that we're a country under reconstruction. So to the extent that, divergent views are acceptable, we are howling at each other and we're howling at foreign nationals. Now, my view is very simple. Perhaps what could assist is South Africa developing a common view on how to deal with crime.
We'll unpack what that common view could look like from an Umkhonto weSizwe perspective. During the struggle against apartheid, Umkhonto weSizwe was in exile, was underground, was outside countries. How was the experience there, and what do you feel when you hear this talk against the foreign nationals?
Okay, can I quickly deal with that? Umkhonto weSizwe was in the country because we had underground structures, with leaders of the ANC that were on Robben Island and leaders of the PAC that were on Robben Island and in other prisons that then came out to reorganize the movement. Because remember, there was a lull at one point. And how the lull was resuscitated was because of the underground structures that were then reestablished to revive and establish organizations.
But
like
Umkhonto weSizwe had training bases in places like Angola and elsewhere. That's what I'm talking about.
But there were structures inside the country as well.
Yes, but those who were outside training, how was the experience?
Look, I'll give you an example about Angola, for instance. When UNITA and the forces of the South African Defense Force penetrated Angola to undermine the establishment of the government of Angola, we were also part of the war against both the SADF. Because you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, you are refugees. We've got more than 200 South African soldiers who fought Umkhonto weSizwe, who are lying in Angola.
I was active in the 80s. We liberated Umkhonto weSizwe.
No, wait. In Angola.
We liberated.
Let me tell you.
They have never fired a bullet against SADF. Tell me where there was a skirmish between MK and MDF.
The point I want to make.
You are a refugee in a refugee camp. You were in camp.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on, let him finish. Let him finish. Hold on, hold on. Ike, you are not a member from Umkhonto weSizwe. Let them speak.
I did not see them on the ground. We liberated them.
But allow him to finish.
Thanks for liberating us. Thanks for liberating us.
You could not come here. Cause us. As a youth, we lost our friends, we lost our family.
Liberating them. Thanks for liberating us.
Did you fight SADF?
Okay, hold on.
Ike, thanks for liberating us.
You've never fought SADF.
Thanks for liberating us.
Okay, hold on, Ike. Hold on.
We'll have a special session now. You need a special focus.
No.
Okay, hold on.
Can I conclude?
Yes.
So to the extent that we were engaged with FAPLA to engage both UNITA and the SADF in various parts of Angola, in the northern parts and in the eastern parts.
I need to rush you.
Yeah.
And we don't want the whole history.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were able to protect the people of Angola to a point where when we were withdrawing from Angola as a result of Resolution 435 of Namibia, the people of Angola moved out with us. That's the extent to which we're able to protect.
So you were together with the people of Angola in that fight as South Africans.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. We're going to take a break now. We're going to take a break now in the nest. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we continue. Now, in the next segment, I would like us to shift our mindsets a little bit, but still be engaging as we are about what are the possible solutions. Some of you have already touched on some of them. We're going to revisit some of them, and we're going to try and wrap the program on a positive note, because we do need solutions to fight crime in South Africa. Welcome back. You're watching We the Nation here on ENCA as we grapple with the problem of crime and the ongoing disregard for the rule of law in South Africa, which many people believe is threatening our democracy. I mean, the stats, there's so many numbers to go through. I've mentioned the cash in transit heist as one example. We've spoken about murders. We've spoken about the proliferation of illegal guns and ammunition and where the challenges lie with the police at different levels. But for example, commercial crimes in between April and June this year went up by 5.1% increase. When you talk commercial crimes, you also look at the economy. When you hear that, Dr. Labuschagne, that in terms of stats, even with commercial crimes, we're seeing an upward, not just with murder. Although rape and sexual assaults went down in the last period, they're still very, very high. Commercial crimes, where's the battle there? Where is it being lost?
Well, I think, again, if people don't feel like they're going to be caught and convicted, it doesn't matter what we do. If you can have the death penalty for every single crime in the country, but if you don't think you're going to be caught, or that if you are caught, you're not going to be properly convicted, then it means nothing. So again, it comes back to if there are no consequences for people's behavior, this type of stuff is going to continue to flourish. It's as simple as that, in my opinion.
Who should be enforcing the accountability?
Sure, I think the people. We have to hold our government accountable. That's, I think, the starting point.
So from a citizenship perspective, what do you think, General, when you hear that?
Definitely.
The role of citizens?
Definitely, Ntate Moyane. I think when you were stopping some of the inputs that were coming, we said, can we look at how best can we repurpose ourselves as a country? What is it that we need to do? Acknowledging as the South African Police Service that, yes, we do pick up where we are wronging, where we are having challenges, where we are not doing what we need to do, and we go back and re-strategize and come up with the plans. But I think we also need to, it should be a whole lot of society approach to say, I was asking myself, I had a conversation with myself that, do we really need as a nation, as South Africans, need to see a police officer at every corner? Do we need the life where we are going to be confined into certain corners that you do not have to move, you must? Do we need that? Or do we need to see ourselves being liberated to say, do not take this 5 rand, it doesn't belong to you?
Like corruption in the police, for example.
Like corruption in the police. Why do you have to take it when we are having millions of people that are not working? They are not getting a cent. You are at least having a job. You are getting that 5 rand, but you need another 5 rand, and you want to get it in a very wrong way. That is why we need to root out these elements within us, because I am saying I do not want to be associated wearing a blue uniform with somebody that is wearing a blue uniform.
And currently the levels of trust are very low.
Because of the bad apples that and we are acknowledging that we are having challenges. That is why we have.
But we need to see the outcomes of how you are acting against the bad apples.
We are acting. Definitely we are acting.
Advocate Tipanyane, when you hear about it's up to us, Dr. Labuschagne said it's up to us, the citizens. You are an activist as well. You are there with the citizenship movement, a citizens movement currently for accountable governance.
You know, what is sad for me, colleagues, is that, you know, we definitely have problems of governance in our country, bad ones. What is sad is that we're here now fighting each other and wanting to blame foreigners for much of the problems. We must make sure that there's proper governance in our country. We must make sure that there's proper community policing. The law says every police station must have a proper community policing. Do we have that, General? We don't. Maybe in white areas or in your areas. So basically, we have marginalized our own people. So I do appreciate some of the efforts done by Soweto, but we need to be careful.
What about Operation Dudula? I mean, you guys have taken action.
We need to fight the battle in a proper manner.
And people are criticizing.
We need to fight the battle in a proper manner. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, people are criticizing us for taking action, and the reason we decided to take action is because we have seen the failures from the government side, that nothing is happening up until people have to do it themselves.
But your action has raised issues of xenophobia, for example.
But then, number one, they talk about the question of crime. We never disputed that in South Africa we do have our problems as South Africans. What we don't need is additional problems. For an example, after the Krugersdorp incident, we had the Lesotho government issuing an apology. What does it supposed to say? Today, the police department just confirmed that they applied for the order to get those criminals who are responsible for the 16 victims in Orlando to bring them back into the country.
Because some of them are in the SADC countries. Okay, so what is the role? What is the role of the citizens? You are hearing that maybe it's up to us as citizens going forward to assist to resolve crime.
Hence, we've been in some of our activities encouraging people to swell their ranks as police reservists, those who can, and assist and take charge of the country themselves, and not rely on the people who failed for the past 20 years and think that
I have solutions.
Okay, hold on. I'll come to you. Hold on.
I have solutions.
Yeah.
Actually, we need solutions for our policing. We need to stop this thing of cadre deployment because it's the one that is destroying us. That's why you find this.
So you need merit. You need merit.
Yes, and we need our police to be screened, whether it's 3 months or every month, so that we can know where we're standing. We also need their bulletproof vests to be installed with cameras. Because whatever is happening, we are taking videos, we are taking them to the police stations. Instead, the same policemen, they destroy those video clips.
Gabriel, is it Gabriel? Yes. Your name? Yeah, here, the mic. Give him the mic, yeah.
Okay, again, Gabriel Kaza from the Institute of Race Relations. We think that there are good police and there are terrible police, and we have to trust ordinary South Africans to solve the problem. Let people vote for their station commander. If there's a station commander who's not doing his job, the people know that. They will get rid of him. If there is a better one, he's not coming from Pretoria. He's coming from close. Let people choose. It's a simple policy. It decentralizes power. It puts Becky Taylor out. It puts the people in. That's what we recommend.
The decentralized model, yeah. Yusuf, get the mic behind you.
I'm standing up because I feel very strongly about the way forward. First of all, we need a political will to fight crime in South Africa.
Political will.
Correct. We need the president to lead it from the front, and we need to make sure that he leads it with passion, with honesty, and
What does that look like? What does that look like?
I'll come to that in a moment. Point number 2, we need to support the good cops. We need to get rid of the bad cops. We don't know what is the police strategy to fight crime over the next 3 years. They need to share it with the people of South Africa. Number 4, we need to support the good cops as communities. Someone somewhere knows that these criminals are from within our communities. We keep quiet, we protect them, we don't phone Crime Stop, we don't blow the whistle on crime. Point number 4, we need lifestyle audits for each and every cop every 6 months. I've raised the issue of body cameras, and General Mosikile will tell you, even when she was in Gauteng, I've raised the issue of body cameras repeatedly. In America and many other parts of the world, it's become compulsory. It will stop corruption, it will stop police brutality, it will stop all the
use
wrong
technology.
ways.
But how do communities help get rid of bad police?
Then, it's simple. We are quick to complain and say that cop is corrupt, but we are too scared to go to the police station and open a charge. Go and report them. Hold the police to account. If the police fail us, name them, shame them, and take action. And lastly, we need, as a nation, to come together to work with the police.
But whistleblowers are not being protected. They say they are scared.
But hang on. We say whistleblowers are not being protected. General Mosikele will tell you, she was in charge of Crime Stop. She's my colleague on Crime Stop International. You can remain anonymous. And we guarantee that if you remain anonymous, there'll be no comeback.
The name was just mentioned. Babita Deokaran was shot
many other
dead. She
whistleblowers
blew the
whom I
whistle last
represent.
year, and she's dead now. So people get scared. Get scared. Sorry, I saw a microphone. Yes, quickly. Yeah.
But then thanks.
Where's the other mic?
No one is talking about the budget for the police.
We'll come there. We'll come there. Hold on. Hold on. We'll come there. We'll come there.
I'm from Umkhonto Wesizwe Liberation War Veterans, Kamango Bobo Pemba. One thing, Braden, out of this must come a call for a crime indaba. Out of this session. So that South Africans can speak with one voice on the matter of crime.
A
Thank you
crime
very
indaba to speak in one voice or to find out what is the plan?
Solutions.
Solutions. Solutions. Ntanta,
To develop
solutions.
one plan for
Hold
the
on.
country. Thanks.
Ntanta, solutions.
Look, I think because it's solution time. What's important for the country to know, Praten, is that no one is coming to save us. No one there in that panel is coming to save Soweto. We, as people in whatever community you come from, we need to be super active citizens. We need to establish ourselves, organize ourselves, and make sure that we do so within the boundaries of the law. We work with the police. We don't expect the police to come work for us. We work with them, and we make sure that whatever crimes, because crime as well, it's not the same everywhere. We know what crime is like in Soweto. We have the intelligence about crime and the data on the ground. We know what to do to solve it. We just partner with the police to solve it. Come to Soweto, we'll teach you. Brigadier Lloyd is one of the most brilliant brigadiers around.
Where is he based? Where is he
He's based in Kliptown.
In Kliptown. Okay.
Kliptown, police station.
Okay.
Come, we'll show you how it works.
Working together with the police. Ike Solutions. Ike Solutions. Solutions.
We need to change the constitution. The
There's a mic.
constitution of this country. The constitution of this country needs to say a South African or a citizen, not everyone. Because people are hijacking buildings. They are called everyone. Anyone can come in here. And we need civil law actions against those people who are encouraging foreigners to come to our country. And where police and soldiers are failing to protect our people from illegal foreigners, we need to sue the Department of Foreign Affairs, the Department of Defense, the Department of Police for damages.
Yeah,
Those
okay.
victims.
Before-
If you've been killed, your family is killed by foreigners, we need to sue the
Okay,
government.
so we must change the constitution. Before Ponso accuses us of being xenophobic, please, have your word. Have your word.
So, you know, we're talking about crime solutions. We know that in November we're having the second GBV and femicide summit, right? And the theme for that is accountability, amplification, and acceleration. And I think that is a solution that we need to focus on what is working, where is it working, amplify that, accelerate it. Okay. And I think sometimes we get bogged down in looking at the negatives, but they are positives. Let's find the
Well, there are positives like there are good cops as well, as we know.
Let's find the police station that works, that the justice system goes, and amplify that.
Okay, if I don't come and grab the microphone, people are hogging it. Spanda?
Thank you very much. I think what we have, the biggest challenge that we have is South Africa. These are exit wounds that we are facing in South Africa.
Exit wounds, what do you mean?
It's an exit wound, which means it's a problem of the whole of Africa that is being seen coming out of South Africa. What we need is, one, we need accountable, good leadership in South Africa and the whole of the continent. We need, in South Africa, the leader, you see why it's happening in South Africa is because of the democratic playground that's here. That's what, this is a window.
Maybe that's why Ike is saying this democratic constitution.
The issue is when colonialism and apartheid was defeated, it was not defeated by a single country. We're all working together. Today, working together, the citizens, we need civic education. Civic education, which will ensure that the energy that we see from Laks, the energy that we see from Ike is directed, hey, shut up, is directed in order to ensure that we can achieve the goals that give people peace.
Give Musi behind you. Hold on. Mr. Musi.
I just wish this energy against each other could be energy for each other. What we normally do is to show how much I know than the other. I think there's no one with monopoly of knowledge. Just humble ourselves. Luck has something to do, Ulax. You have Bobo as MK, something to do. Everybody has something to do. We are all in this together. Either we swim or sink together. Now, I'm arguing that we must swim together. Know why? When apartheid was at its worst, when it was killing brutally, we stood together and brought it down. And we can bring this crime down. And I'm suggesting also
solutions
that we've got. I will say one of the things. We are developing a paper as MK because we're solution oriented. We're going to present it in what Bobo was talking to in the Harbour, where we say, I'll make an example. When I was driving here, And comrades heard that I'm coming here. One of them, who's one of the best forensic experts, is sitting at home, unemployed. He said, tell them to Mamina. Now we've got skills
General,
we're
you've
looking
got
for,
a volunteer
where
that's
we can be
joined the
able to actually harness them.
And
Because
we
we don't
need
need
them.
quantity of police, we need quality of police.
Quality of police. Part of the solution.
Many indabas, they need-
Ike, you've had your say. Can you give the gentleman quickly? Solutions. Solutions.
The best solution that there is that we have to give service delivery on all levels. If we give everybody water, everybody's electricity, service delivery will start off and end off all our problems. I have to get back to the advocate when he was still member of the Human Rights Commission. We went to the Human Rights Commission because we in West Village don't have water at night.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay.
They decided that the municipality is guilty 2 times, but they do nothing about it. So what do they do with their budget?
Okay, thank you. We're going to continue as we try and identify more solutions. Some of them have come up just now, including the fact that you've got qualified forensic specialists sitting at home and saying, Tumamina, please involve me in the police to help. We've got a point of view that says, let's work together, use our energies as South Africans to find ways to stop the rampant crime that we are faced with. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are now in the last stretch of this edition of We the Nation here on ENC, where we've been grappling with the issue of crime, the disregard of the rule of law. We're now going to be focusing in the last 5 minutes on possible solutions. Let me start with you, Dr. Labuskaghni. You've mentioned a few other things earlier on in terms like go back to the basics. What else do you think can help the police to fight crime and the role of citizens?
I think, again, we unfairly blame the police for everything when it comes to crime. I think they're an easy target. I think, like Advocate Tando said, if we're not dealing with something like poverty, we're never going to win this. We're just going to be trimming the edges off crime if we don't actually deal with the root causes. And I just think, ultimately, I might not agree with Ike Khumalo and people who share the sentiments about foreigners, but if we ignore those sentiments, we're also going to do ourselves a huge disservice.
Because we don't agree with them, we must not ignore them. Advocate Tipanyan.
Yes, this is our country. Democracy means government for the people, and government is based on the will of the people. And I think we as South Africans, to a large extent, maybe due to political sentiments, we've allowed our government to mess up. And therefore, we need to correct this. But secondly, short-term solutions are not going to help us. The issues of undocumented migrants is a criminal issue, but there are also reasons behind that. But more importantly, colleagues, we should not forget, we are one people of the South. And we need to fix our problems as a collective. Lesotho, Botswana, Swaziland, we depend on each other. We cannot be an island of wealth in a sea of poverty. That's the most stupid thing we can do. But we do need to fix our country and make sure we protect South Africans from crime, we fight corruption, and those who are bribing. I mean, I was telling the general here that I live in Sandton. Every Friday we see a police van. They pick up foreigners, and they release them after they've received payment. So we're also the biggest cause of the problems ourselves.
Okay. Well, you can clap, right, yeah? General.
Much as, Praden, we are saying that crime it's getting out of hands in proportional manners, we also need to continue. I know most of the time when we go out to communities, we do talk to communities that come forward, come assist us, and those that do, they will come and give information to the police. Sometimes it's not used, sometimes it does. But I want to say today, let us continue until we are here. Let us work together with the police. Let us make sure that we hold those accountable that are not processing the information that they have received. Let us help each other in policing. I know most of the time we're talking about community policing forum because that is the structure that has been mandated to be the community structure that is working with the police. But there is a lot of formations that we are having.
You don't have to be a member of the CPF to help fight against crime. Okay, Nicolene, less than 30 seconds.
What we need to do is we need to awaken the sleeping giant from communities to leadership, because with the sentiments that have been raised, it has been pure indicated and communicated that we are all a problem. Even our president needs to be held accountable. He needs to know that the society is not happy with his leadership.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, we haven't heard your voice.
Soweto Parliament. Communities are organizing themselves, and they want to take organizations and as police into account. So we are stressing that every community must also open a parliament so that they can involve the police and sit down and find ways of fighting crime and also hold each other accountable.
Okay.
Also, where police are doing well, you find that there's detectives that mess up the whole thing. So I think that the detectives need to go to training and also get workshop so that they can be able to handle crime scenes better, and therefore justice will be served.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
And in closing, this will be especially for the GBVF fraternity. I suggest that we consider castration. And then also another thing is...
Castration or chemical castration?
Chemical castration.
Chemical castration.
Yes. And then also, hold 2 seconds, sir. Can I just please complete? And then also harsher sentences, because we've all often found...
But have they worked?
Hold on. And then especially because with all the people that are found guilty, it's lighter sentencing, and hence we see repeat offenders.
Sorry to have cut in. The final word to you, Yusuf, very quickly.
It's a war, and we must win this war.
It's a war, and we must win this war. On that note, thank you very much, audience. You had a point. Quickly, sorry.
One point. Stop talking. Let's start acting.
Stop talking. Let's start acting. And you've had the views. Thank you very much. So there you've had it. You've had where it has gone wrong, perhaps, where are the challenges, and among many factors, a number of them have been mentioned, but the sentiment is let's work together. There's a call for a national crime indaba sort that will focus on solutions, because we, the nation, shall always rise.